In 2026, everything changes, not because the world suddenly becomes easier, but because you finally decide to stop giving your power away. This is the year you stop chasing people, stop explaining your dreams, stop waiting for approval, and start building a life rooted in discipline, vision, and self-respect. You've carried others long enough, now it's time to carry yourself. You've poured into the world, now it's time to pour into your own growth. This is not the year to be distracted, discouraged, or delayed. This is the year you become intentional, focused, unreachable to anything that doesn't align with your future. When you choose yourself, you don't lose people. You lose the version of you that settled. And in that space, a stronger, wiser, unstoppable you is born. 2026 doesn't just demand your effort, it demands your transformation. Why focusing on yourself is the ultimate power move in 2026. In 2026, focusing on yourself becomes more than a strategy. It becomes your survival, your transformation, and your elevation. The truth is, the world around you has never been louder, more distracting, or more demanding. And if you don't learn to redirect your energy toward your own growth, you'll continue pouring into people, places, and situations that return nothing but exhaustion. Focusing on yourself is not selfish. It is the foundation of strength, clarity, and inner peace. It is the decision to stop letting the world dictate your worth and start rewriting your identity on your own terms. Every time you choose yourself, you take back a piece of your power that life, people, or circumstance once stole from you. You begin to understand that your dreams are not optional. They are assignments. Your potential is not accidental. It is intentional. Your growth is not negotiable. It is necessary. And 2026 is the year you finally honor that truth. Because the moment you stop dividing your energy across meaningless conflicts, draining relationships, and temporary distractions, you unlock the mental space needed to create something real, something lasting, something extraordinary. Focusing on yourself does not mean isolating from the world. It means elevating above the noise so you can finally hear your own voice, the voice you've ignored for too long, the one that knows exactly who you are and what you are capable of becoming. When you commit to yourself in 2026, you begin to rise in ways that shock the people who underestimated you. You start learning that peace is a power, not a luxury, that discipline is a weapon, not a punishment, that consistency is a language spoken only by those who truly want to win. You stop waking up for attention and start waking up for purpose. You stop comparing your journey to people who haven't walked your road. You stop explaining your decisions to people who don't carry your responsibilities. You start realizing that the world doesn't reward the loud, it rewards the focused, it rewards the person who stays committed when everyone else quits, it rewards the person who chooses long-term growth over short-term pleasure. It rewards the one who understands that self-focus is self-respect. And in 2026, you will shift from being available to everyone to being committed to your mission. You will stop allowing others to determine how far you go. You will stop shrinking yourself so others don't feel small. You will stop apologizing for wanting more, doing more, becoming more, because the moment you focus on yourself, you step into a level of power that cannot be interrupted by opinions, slowed by criticism, or poisoned by envy. Focusing on yourself also means embracing the reality that not everyone will understand you this year, and that's okay. Growth is lonely before it becomes inspiring. Discipline looks strange to the undisciplined. Peace looks suspicious to the chaotic. Silence looks like distance to the insecure. People may call you cold, different, unavailable, or changed, but they won't understand that you are not losing yourself. You are finally finding yourself. You are not detaching from the world. You are detaching from the parts of it that no longer serve your future. You are not pushing people away. You are pulling your purpose closer, and anyone who interprets your self-focus as selfishness was benefiting from your self-neglect. 2026 is the year you stop performing for people who never clap. You stop giving chances to people who waste them. You stop expecting loyalty from people who don't even respect themselves. You stop breaking yourself to fix others. You start investing your time where it grows, your love where it's valued, your energy where it's returned, and your loyalty where it's honored. That is the power of focusing on yourself. It teaches you who truly deserves access to you. But focusing on yourself is more than mindset. It is action. It is waking up early when your excuses tell you to sleep. It is reading when everyone else is scrolling. It is saving money when others are seeking validation. It is saying no without guilt because you finally understand that every yes is a sacrifice. It is choosing workouts over weakness, progress over perfection, discipline over distraction. It is writing goals so clearly that your future self could sign them like a contract. It is putting your dreams on the calendar instead of on the wish list. It is choosing the uncomfortable habits that build you instead of the comfortable habits that break you. Focusing on yourself means you begin to understand that the version of you you're chasing is not created by chance. It is created by choices. Choices repeated, choices respected, choices protected, choices honored. And when you take responsibility for those choices, your life begins to shift in ways you once prayed for. In 2026, focusing on yourself also means healing, not because the past wins if you don't, but because your future deserves better than your wounds. It means letting go of bitterness, not to free others, but to free yourself. It means releasing old versions of you that only existed to survive pain. It means forgiving yourself for the times you settled, stayed too long, believed too little, or tried too hard for people who never tried for you. Healing is not weakness. Healing is preparation. It clears your mind, strengthens your spirit, and restores your ability to dream again. When you focus on healing, you don't just grow, you rebuild. You rise, you return to yourself with more wisdom, more calm, and more strength than you ever thought possible. And finally, focusing on yourself in 2026 means one thing. You decide that your future is worth fighting for. You decide that the world will not shape you. You will shape your world. You decide that your dreams are not too big. Your environment was too small. You decide that you are done waiting for the right time, because the right time is the moment you choose yourself. And when you choose yourself consistently and unapologetically, everything changes. Opportunities find you. Confidence finds you. Clarity finds you. Success finds you, because success follows focus. And 2026 is the year you focus like your life depends on it, because it does. The power of walking alone in 2026. Why isolation becomes your greatest strength. In 2026, walking alone becomes more than a phase. It becomes a conscious decision, a bold declaration, and a necessary upgrade. Because there comes a point in life where the noise around you becomes so loud, the opinions so constant, the expectations so heavy, that the only way to hear your own voice again is to create distance. Distance from the people who drain you, from the environments that distract you, from the habits that delay you, and from the version of yourself that no longer represents your future. Walking alone doesn't mean you're lonely. It means you finally understand the difference between being surrounded and being supported. It means you are tired of searching for validation in places that never offered it, tired of giving more than you receive, tired of carrying people who refuse to grow, and tired of betraying your own potential just to be accepted. In 2026, solitude becomes your sanctuary. It becomes the space where you rebuild your confidence, sharpen your goals, restore your energy, and reintroduce yourself to the person you were always meant to become. Walking alone forces you to face yourself, your strengths, your wounds, your doubts, your patterns, but it also forces you to discover your power, your resilience, your hunger, and your purpose. And you realize that the path to the next version of you cannot be walked with people who are comfortable with the old version of you. When you walk alone in 2026, you begin to detach from the need to be understood. You stop explaining your silence, your distance, your ambition. You understand that people who don't share your vision will always misinterpret your movement. They will call you cold when you set boundaries, selfish when you focus on yourself, arrogant when you choose growth, and different when you refuse to shrink. But walking alone teaches you that your journey is not a group project. Some people are not meant to go where you're going. Some are not ready. Some are not willing. Some simply don't have the discipline, the mindset, or the courage to evolve, and it's not your responsibility to drag them. You don't rise by carrying others. You rise by carrying yourself. The more you walk alone, the more you learn that solitude is not a punishment. It is preparation. It is the season where the world goes quiet so your purpose can go loud. It is the season where your dreams stop whispering and start roaring. It is the season where you stop chasing people and start chasing your own greatness. And as you walk alone, you finally understand that you never needed a crowd. You just needed courage. Walking alone in 2026 also exposes the truth about the people around you. When you remove access, when you reduce availability, when you stop being the person everyone can rely on, you begin to see who truly values you and who only valued what you provided. You see who respects your boundaries and who gets offended by them. You see who claps when you win and who grows quiet in your success. Absence reveals loyalty, silence reveals intentions, distance reveals character, and solitude creates clarity. You begin to understand that some connections were assignments, not anchors. Some relationships were lessons, not lifetimes. Some people were chapters, not the whole book. Walking alone teaches you to let those chapters close without fear, regret, or resentment. Because every ending makes room for a better beginning. Every loss makes room for a greater version of you. Every departure makes space for peace to finally settle into your life. And in 2026, peace becomes non-negotiable. But walking alone doesn't just change how you see people, it changes how you see yourself. When you're no longer distracted by the crowd, you start paying attention to the person in the mirror. You start noticing your own habits, your own flaws, your own strengths, your own potential. You start realizing how much power you've been given away over the years. Power to opinions that didn't matter. Power to people who never saw your worth. Power to fears that never came true. Power to doubt that never deserved your attention. Solitude brings all that power back to you. It makes you responsible for your own progress, your own discipline, your own decisions. It forces you to stop blaming circumstances and start taking accountability. It gives you the room to grow without judgment, without comparison, without pressure. And in that quiet, you discover a version of yourself that is stronger than your excuses, louder than your fears, and hungrier than your limitations. You discover the version of you that is built for greatness. Walking alone in 2026 also strengthens your discipline. When no one is watching, you learn to show up for yourself. When no one is cheering, you learn to clap for yourself. When no one is motivating you, you learn to push yourself. When no one understands you, you learn to trust yourself. Solitude becomes the gym where your character trains. It becomes the furnace where your mindset hardens. It becomes the classroom where your lessons deepen. It becomes the battlefield where your weaknesses are exposed and your strengths are developed. And by the time you step back into the world, you are unrecognizable. Not because you changed overnight, but because you finally had the courage to face the parts of yourself that were holding you back. Walking alone teaches you that discipline is not built in crowds. It is built in corners, late nights, early mornings, uncomfortable decisions, and silent battles. In 2026, walking alone becomes your breakthrough because it forces you to build a relationship with yourself. You start understanding your own worth without needing reassurance. You start validating your own ideas without needing approval. You start setting standards that honor your spirit, not your insecurities. You start choosing environments that feed your ambition, not your doubts. You start creating a life where you feel safe, stable, and strong within yourself. You realize that the person you become during solitude is the person who will carry you to success. That version of you is sharper, wiser, calmer, stronger, and more intentional. That version of you is no longer controlled by emotions, fears, or distractions. That version of you knows exactly what they want and refuses to settle for less. Walking alone also teaches you patience, because greatness doesn't rush, growth doesn't sprint, healing doesn't happen in a day. Solitude gives you the space to move at the pace your destiny requires. You learn to trust the timing of your life, not compare it to others. You learn to appreciate the process, not just the outcome. You learn that every step, even the slow ones, are part of your progress. And the more patient you become, the more unstoppable you become. Because patience protects you from panic, from rushing, from forcing, from settling. And finally, walking alone in 2026 becomes your superpower because it removes every distraction that once slowed you. When your focus sharpens, your future accelerates. When your mind quiets, your vision clears. When your circle shrinks, your purpose expands. You realize that being alone is not the absence of people. It is the presence of purpose. It is the presence of peace. It is the presence of focus. And in 2026, those are the three things that will take you to heights you've never reached before. Solitude is not a weakness. Solitude is the birthplace of transformation. And when you walk alone with clarity, discipline, and purpose, you don't just become stronger, you become unstoppable. Mastering your mindset in 2026, the year you rewrite your reality. In 2026, mastering your mindset becomes the foundation of everything you want to build, achieve, and become. Because no matter how big your dreams are, no matter how powerful your ambitions may be, nothing will change unless your mind changes first. Your mindset is the engine that drives your actions, your habits, your decisions, and ultimately your destiny. And this year, you must decide that you are done letting fear, doubt, insecurity, and negativity shape your life. This is the year you take control of your thoughts instead of letting your thoughts take control of you. This is the year you stop feeding the lies your past planted and start watering the truth your future needs. Your mind has been both your prison and your power. Now you must choose which one it becomes. When you master your mindset, you stop seeing obstacles as endings and start seeing them as instructions. You stop seeing delays as punishments and start seeing them as preparation. You stop seeing challenges as threats and start seeing them as opportunities. In 2026, your mindset becomes your weapon, your shield, your compass, and your guide. And once you train it, strengthen it, and discipline it, there is nothing in your life that remains impossible. Mastering your mindset in 2026 means taking ownership of your internal world. You must unlearn the beliefs that have been limiting you for years. Unlearn the idea that success is for someone else. Unlearn the idea that you're too late, too inexperienced, too unprepared, too flawed. Unlearn the idea that one mistake defines your future. Your mind has collected scars from childhood, relationships, failures, disappointments, and expectations. And for too long, those scars have been making decisions for you. But in 2026, you rewrite the narrative. You start telling yourself a different story, a stronger story, a story that reflects your resilience instead of your regrets, a story that reflects your potential instead of your pain. a story that reflects your future instead of your fears. Because the truth is simple, you will always live according to the story you tell yourself. Tell a weak story and you live a weak life. Tell a bold story and you live a bold life. Tell a hopeless story and you live a hopeless life. But tell a powerful story. Tell a story where you rise, where you fight, where you grow, where you win, and that becomes your reality. Mindset is not motivation, it is transformation. It is the quiet shift inside you that changes everything outside you. In 2026, mastering your mindset also means controlling your emotional reactions. Your emotions have been steering your decisions for too long. Anger leading you into arguments, insecurity leading you into comparisons, fear leading you into hesitation, sadness leading you into isolation. But this year, you learn to feel without falling. You learn to pause before reacting. You learn to think before speaking. You learn to breathe before breaking. You realize that emotions are signals, not instructions. They are messages, not commands. And when you stop letting your emotions run the show, your life becomes calmer, clearer, and more focused. You stop wasting energy on conflicts that don't matter. You stop arguing for your limitations. You stop chasing closure from people who have nothing to offer you. You stop letting temporary feelings create permanent decisions. Emotional discipline becomes your superpower. You learn that peace is not given, it is built. Built through self-control, built through boundaries, built through choosing maturity over reaction, built through choosing growth over ego. Mastering your mindset also means removing mental clutter. In 2026, you must learn to let go of thoughts that exhaust you. Let go of replaying conversations that can't be changed. Let go of imagining worst-case scenarios that never happen. Let go of overthinking every step until you paralyze your own progress. Overthinking has stolen enough of your time, your confidence, and your joy. Now it is time to take that power back. Your mind can only work clearly when it is not drowning in noise. When you declutter your thoughts, you make room for vision. You make room for strategy. You make room for clarity. You make room for creativity. You make room for inner peace. You make room for the version of you that has been suffocating under stress, fear, and self-doubt. A clear mind is a powerful mind, and a powerful mind creates a powerful life. In 2026, mastering your mindset means replacing excuses with discipline. Because the truth is, the mind will always try to protect you from discomfort, but discomfort is the first step toward growth. The mind will tell you it's too hard, too early, too risky, too late, but the mind lies when it is untrained. And if you continue believing those lies, you will never upgrade your life. Discipline is not about being perfect. It is about being consistent. It is about doing what needs to be done even when you don't feel like doing it. It is about prioritizing long-term rewards over short-term comfort. It is about reminding yourself every day that your goals matter, your future matters, your effort matters, and your growth matters. Your mindset cannot grow without discipline. And your discipline cannot grow without mindset. The two feed each other. The stronger your mindset becomes, the easier discipline becomes. And the stronger your discipline becomes, the easier success becomes. Mastering your mindset in 2026 also means controlling the environment you allow around you. Because mindset is shaped by what you see, what you hear, what you consume, who you talk to, and where you spend your time. You cannot build a strong mind in a weak environment. You cannot build confidence around people who doubt you. You cannot build faith around people who fear everything. You cannot build positivity around negativity. You cannot build ambition around laziness. Your environment either strengthens your mindset or destroys it. And in 2026, you must choose environments that elevate you, challenge you, sharpen you, and support you. Environments that remind you of your potential, not your past. Environments that push you forward, not pull you back. Protecting your environment becomes an act of self-respect. But ultimately, mastering your mindset in 2026 is about believing in yourself again, fully, fiercely, unapologetically. You must believe that you are capable. You must believe that you are worthy. You must believe that you can rise from anything. You must believe that your future is bigger than your fears. You must believe that your goals are not accidental. They are calling you for a reason. When belief becomes your foundation, nothing can shake you. Not people, not failures, not delays, not challenges, not doubt. Because a strong mindset is not built by avoiding difficulty. It is built by overcoming it. And every time you rise, your belief grows. Every time you push through, your confidence strengthens. Every time you keep going, your mind learns that you are unstoppable. And in 2026, that is exactly who you become. A person who is no longer controlled by fear, limitations, or excuses, but guided by clarity, discipline, courage, and belief. A person who doesn't just dream of a better life, but builds it from the inside out. Because the greatest power you will ever have is the power to master your mind. Once you control your mind, you control your life. And 2026 is the year you take that control back and rewrite your reality forever. Building unshakable discipline in 2026, the habit that separates winners from wishers. In 2026, discipline becomes the ultimate difference maker, the silent force that separates those who talk about success from those who actually achieve it, those who dream from those who do, those who wait from those who build. Discipline is not glamorous, it's not loud, and it's not something people will clap for, but it is the one habit that shapes your destiny more than anything else. If you want to change your life this year, you don't need motivation, you need discipline, because motivation is temporary, emotional, and unpredictable. It depends on moods, moments, and inspiration. But discipline is a decision. It's daily, it's controlled, it's intentional. It shows up when you're tired, when you're stressed, when you're unmotivated, when the world is loud, when life is heavy, when the excuses pile up. Discipline is the commitment to keep going when comfort tells you to stop. It's the voice inside that says, I don't feel like it, but I'll do it anyway. It's the habit that transforms your identity from someone who wishes to someone who wins. And if 2026 is going to be your year of transformation, you must build a level of discipline so unshakable that nothing, no distraction, no delay, no disappointment can stop your growth. Building unshakable discipline in 2026 begins with accepting a hard truth. Your life is a reflection of your habits, not your intentions. You can plan, hope, dream, and visualize, but unless your daily routine supports your goals, nothing changes. This year, your habits must align with who you want to become, not who you used to be. That means waking up earlier, even when the bed feels warm. That means choosing the gym over excuses, the book over the phone, the work over procrastination. That means building routines that honor your future, not your comfort. Discipline is built through repetition, not inspiration. It's built through showing up on the days when nothing in you wants to. It's built through doing the things that are difficult, uncomfortable, boring, or tiring because you know your future requires them. And the truth is, discipline doesn't just build success, it builds character, it builds confidence, it builds self-respect. You start trusting yourself more. You start believing in yourself more. You start proving to yourself that you are capable of honoring your commitments. And once you realize you can consistently show up for your goals, you become unstoppable. But in 2026, building discipline also means eliminating the distractions that have been stealing your progress for years. You cannot stay disciplined in an environment designed to pull you away from your purpose. You must protect your focus like your future depends on it, because it does. That means reducing the time you spend scrolling, arguing, comparing, complaining, and consuming negativity. It means surrounding yourself with people who encourage growth instead of chaos, purpose instead of drama, excellence instead of excuses. Your environment shapes your discipline more than you think. You cannot rise around people who settle. You cannot push around people who quit. You cannot grow around people who don't believe in growth. And in 2026, you must choose environments that strengthen your discipline instead of sabotaging it. When you plant yourself in the right environment, discipline becomes easier, not harder. Your mind becomes clearer. Your habits become consistent. Your focus becomes sharper. Your energy becomes aligned with your goals. Building unshakable discipline in 2026 also demands that you stop negotiating with your excuses. Every time you say, I'll do it tomorrow, your goals bleed. Every time you say, I don't feel like it, your dream suffers. Every time you say, I'm too tired, too stressed, too busy, your future gets pushed further away. Excuses are comfortable, convincing, and dangerously familiar. They disguise themselves as valid reasons, but they are silent thieves stealing your potential. This year, you must stop giving your excuses authority. You must stop letting your emotions dictate your actions. You must stop waiting for the perfect time, because the perfect time is whenever you decide to show up. Discipline doesn't ask how you feel. It tells you what to do. And once you stop negotiating with excuses, your life moves forward in ways you never imagined. In 2026, discipline also means learning to do the work privately without expecting applause, recognition, or validation. The truth is, the world won't clap for your discipline. No one will congratulate you for waking up early, for training when tired, for studying when unmotivated, for saving money while others spend, for building when the world is distracted. But discipline is not built for applause. It's built for results. The private work creates the public reward. The silent grind creates the loud success. And the more you stay consistent behind closed doors, the louder your achievements will speak later. This year, let your results make the noise. Let your progress speak for you. Let your transformation silence the doubt. Discipline is the quiet investment that pays the loudest dividends, but the greatest part of discipline is what it does to your identity. In 2026, discipline becomes the tool through which you reinvent yourself. When you stay consistent long enough, you begin to see yourself differently. You stop viewing yourself as someone who tries. You see yourself as someone who succeeds. You stop seeing obstacles. You see opportunities. You stop seeing limitations. You see strength. You stop seeing fear. You see courage. Discipline is not about forcing yourself to work. work. It's about shaping yourself into someone who no longer runs from the work. And that shift in identity is what changes everything. When you believe you are disciplined, your habits follow. When your habits follow, your results change. When your results change, your life changes. Building unshakable discipline in 2026 also requires patience. This is where most people fall apart. They want quick results, instant progress, overnight success. But discipline is a slow builder. It works day by day, habit by habit, decision by decision. You may not see results immediately, but that doesn't mean nothing is happening. The seeds you plant through discipline take time to grow. The muscles you build, the skills you learn, the mindset you strengthen, the habits you develop, they all take time. And patience is the companion of discipline. Without patience, you quit too soon. Without patience, you destroy what was growing. Without patience, you settle for less. But in 2026, patience becomes your strength. You learn to trust the process. You learn to stay consistent even when the progress is invisible. You learn to believe in your effort even when the results are not yet visible. And finally, building unshakable discipline in 2026 means you take full responsibility for your life. No blaming, no complaining, no excuses, no waiting for someone to save you, guide you, motivate you, or choose you. This year, you choose yourself. You commit to yourself. You discipline yourself. Because your future is not built by chance. It is built by consistency. And the person who becomes disciplined becomes unstoppable. In 2026, discipline becomes the bridge from where you are to where you dream to be. And once you cross that bridge, nothing can bring you back. Mastering the art of silent growth in 2026. In 2026, one of the most powerful decisions you will ever make is choosing the path of silent growth. Growth that doesn't need applause, reassurance, recognition, or permission to exist. This is the year you learn that real transformation does not happen in the spotlight. It happens in the shadows, where your discipline becomes your backbone, your solitude becomes your power, and your consistency becomes your identity. Silent growth is the art of elevating your life without broadcasting the process to people who don't understand your mission. It is deciding that you don't need to prove your progress to anyone, because the results will speak louder than any announcement ever could. In silence, you have no distractions, no critics, no noise, just you, your goals, and the relentless determination to rise. When you grow in silence, you protect your vision from negativity, envy, and unhelpful opinions that can weaken the foundation of your dreams. Silence becomes your shield and your sanctuary. It sharpens your mind, strengthens your patience, and deepens your hunger to become more. It teaches you to value progress over validation, direction over attention, and purpose over popularity. The truth is, the more you talk about your dreams, the more people try to interfere with them, intentionally or unintentionally. But when you work quietly, your success becomes undeniable, unchallenged, and unstoppable. Silent growth in 2026 means you stop posting every move, stop sharing every plan, and stop seeking encouragement from people who don't truly want to see you win. It teaches you to hold your vision close, to protect your strategy, and to trust yourself enough to build without spectators. It's understanding that the world doesn't need monthly updates on your progress. It needs your transformation to arrive fully, boldly, and unmistakably. And when it does, the same people who doubted you will wonder how you rose so far, so fast, but they will never know the battles you fought in silence. Silent growth is not loneliness. It is preparation. It is you stepping away from noise and stepping into alignment with your destiny. It is you developing habits instead of excuses, investing in discipline instead of comfort, and embracing the grind instead of avoiding it. In silence, you learn to endure what others run from. You learn to keep going even when tired. You learn to stay committed even when no one is watching. That is where real strength is born. The power of silent growth is also learning to detach from the need for external validation. In 2026, you must understand that applause does not create progress, and criticism cannot stop destiny. Growth becomes cleaner, purer, and more efficient when done quietly. You stop wasting energy justifying your decisions and start using that energy to build a future that justifies itself. Silence trains your focus. It redirects your attention away from what others are doing and centers your mind on what truly matters, your evolution. Silent growth also teaches you emotional intelligence, the strength to stay calm when provoked, the discipline to stay consistent without encouragement, and the maturity to let success be your voice. When you grow quietly, you become difficult to read, difficult to predict, and impossible to stop. Your moves become strategic, your decisions become intentional, and your progress becomes undeniable. Make 2026 the year you master this art, the year you disappear not because you're lost, but because you're preparing to return stronger than ever, the year you stop explaining and start executing, the year you stop seeking permission and start dominating your path. Let people wonder where you went, how you changed, how you elevated so fast, because they will never understand the fire that silence helped you build. Silent growth is not about hiding. It's about emerging at the right time with the right mindset and with results so powerful they cannot be ignored. In 2026, protect your peace, protect your energy, protect your vision, and protect your growth by keeping it sacred. Your silence will become your strategy will become your success, and your success will speak for you in a voice louder than anything you could ever announce.